All right, we are officially jumping in. So this is our AMA. It is August 22nd, 2023. So the way the AMAs works, if you've never been on an AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything, this is your space to ask any questions that you have at all about the tool, about how to use the tool, about growing your business with the tool, or anything of that nature. This is pretty much open to you. So you're either here because you have very specific questions that you want to ask, or how about yeah buts, or you're here because you like being a fly on the wall to hear, well, maybe I should be hearing what other questions people are asking. Maybe I want to hear what they are curious about, and maybe there's a way for me to get the edge. So if you're watching this and you do have a specific question, if you can use the raise your hand feature, it'll make our life really easy. If you've never used that, you just go to the reaction and then you click raise hand, like you'll see Debbie Allen just did, and then I just did, but I'm going to lower my hand because I don't need my hand to be up. But just raise your hand and we'll go through the questions and we are going to jump in. So, Diane, I think I said Debbie Allen. That's like an actress. Diane Allen. I'm so sorry. That's not you. You're Diane. Okay.
Hey, congratulations. That's really exciting.
It's very exciting. Thank
It
you very much.
is. I live in Bend, Oregon. There's a big startup community here, and I know the scene. It's super super exciting. So, um, I have a couple of questions. The first one is the bright and shiny object. So I what I do is I share a recording of my music as the code. So I use the code word music and I send them to a video of my slides with set to my music. So, but my question is that seems like a dead end.
Okay.
Like,
Tell me more.
what are some creative ways to like, because like I'm thinking, because I have a music album. I'm thinking maybe I should have that video not posted on YouTube, but have it posted on the storefront for my music.
When you say dead end, help me understand your philosophy behind that. Like, what is happening from your perspective
They
to
go
ask
to
that?
YouTube and then what?
I see what you're saying. So when you say dead end, it's they're being sent, but then what happens next from that? Is that the question?
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and the other funky thing that happens is because when you press, when you enter the code, right? And they get it immediately. I have had people freak out because all of a sudden the music starts playing and at the conference and you hear it popping up in the audience.
So
um
yeah, so there's a couple of things that you could do. I'll share with you one of the things that I do, which may or may not be helpful. Let me pull up my screen here, because I understand exactly what you're saying
I
now.
mean, I could go in and populate, and I do have something in the comment or in the description of the video, but
Hmm.
it would be nice if it was just um, one less click away. Okay, so
Yeah,
this is
so
where you send them?
here's what I've done, right? So this is a web page. So this is a for me a summary of a presentation that's probably one of my most popular presentations. In your case, it might be like your slides. So this is hosted on my website, and it's got like the video here. It's got a one page. It's got an image here that people like, and then it has a link to the research paper. But then oh, Lord have mercy. I gotta fix this. This is supposed to be my calendar link right here. And then there's a little contact form here.
Okay, so you
So
send them to a web page.
I do, yeah. And the reason why I do that is because I gotta see why my calendar link is not communicating here. But I'm trying to grab one or two of those people who might come and say, "Oh, I'd like to see it." And as they're experiencing it, my contact information and their ability to get in touch is always readily available.
Okay.
Because what I want to have people do is in the moment, but I also want this to be a reference point that they'll come back to. So when they're coming back to it, they're not going back to YouTube, they're going back to my website. So then it becomes easier that if they're going back to it and inspired to reach out to me, it's just they can click the contact button on the top right hand corner or fill out this list. And then conceptually, my event planner's calendar is here. So I might recommend creating a maybe it's dianeallen.com/music or dianeallen.com/whatever.
Yep.
And then it's a hidden link. So it's not like you can't
Right.
access this link through my, normal, you won't know it unless you were at my presentation.
Okay. Thank you. I was leaning towards that, but you really like took it to a whole other level. So, um,
Yeah, so I would take that same video and just embed it and then maybe
yeah.
put like a little contact form and like
Yeah. Cool.
chef's kiss.
Okay.
What
Great.
kind can we get a link or something in the chat? Can we get a little
What do you want?
well, I mean, you got the music, just put a little link
I
to, maybe a little
if you want,
maybe we could
I like
stream.
it's less than a week that I've launched my album, but you all can download it for free if you want.
Where?
So
Where do we get this?
DianeAllen.com, it's the store. You could just type in the free for the coupon. I don't I have a listening guide that isn't uploaded yet. So I have other questions, but I'll let someone else go.
Well, no one else has their hand
No
up,
one else
and
has their hand
we
up.
we we expressed that the way that this is going to work, unless you are Joe Fingerhut and you're driving, you got to raise your hand. So if you don't raise your
Okay.
hand, then Diane,
It's
you can keep going on.
it's still the Diane Allen show. Okay, next question is integrations.
Hmm.
Is that on your do you have ways to integrate so that so I'm looking at, the spreadsheets to download afterwards of all the contacts that I have to manually download and then manually upload.
Hmm.
Have
So the answer is yes. This is something that for sure we would like to do. What it turns out is, so Zapier is the most likely way that we're going to about doing it. So that if you want to have a Zap set up, so that you can throw it into your email list or whatever that you use. So this is for sure something we want to do. What is fascinating about it is, it turns out the programmatic side of it is not easy. And what I mean by not easy is that it easily can break. And what we're finding is a lot of these bigger companies that have Zaps, so you can have those direct integrations, they actually have a team dedicated to making sure that the integrations don't break. So the reason why that is a challenge for us currently, we will solve it though, is because we are a small but mighty team. Our fear is that we'll have these Zaps set up, and because there's so many different integrations that you can have with a Zap, somebody will have an integration that breaks, and they'll be relying upon that integration, and then it's broken, and we didn't fix it, and then they get mad at us. So we don't want to launch it until we figured out how to make sure that that integration won't break, or like as best we can be sure that the integration won't break without us having to kind of be like eagle-eyed on it. So that's probably more information than you need, but the answer is yes, we will be having integrations and prioritizing that, and B, it's just not available right now.
okay.
Yeah.
So last question, the because I'm gonna purchase the pro plan, and I understand is that you get an extra question that you can customize.
Yes. Oh, I thought you meant on this. I thought you,
Oh,
I
no,
thought
no,
you were
no.
like, oh, if I get pro, I
That
get more questions. I heard that wrong. Yes. So with pro, you can customize your 1 to 5 Likert scale questions, and you can add an additional qualitative question. So whatever you want to do.
what did you say? What um can you say the first thing again? I missed hearing what you said.
Absolutely. Let me kind of show you. Um,
I'm wondering what's the best question for me to add. Okay.
So these are what are called our 1 to 5 quantitative questions. That's where you get kind of like your numbers, like
Yep.
how actual engaging. So with a pro account, you can change these if you want. If you like the way they are, leave them as is. So is it engaging? Is it so you can change these questions,
Okay.
and then these are called the qualitative questions, which are like
Okay.
testimonial kind of questions. So
Got
there's
it.
two baked in, one, two, and then with the pro account, you do have the ability to add an additional question. So if you want to say something to the effect of, I don't use it every single time I do a presentation for clarity. The way that I use the additional question is maybe I'm doing a new presentation. I might ask like, what else would you like for me to have covered that I didn't cover? Or what point did you like the most? Like if I'm doing any type of like presentation discovery, that's going to go into that particular question. Sometimes I might have things that my client might want to know, like, are you currently enrolled in this program? Why or why not, or something like that. So maybe I can provide something for my client. So I don't use the additional question every single time, but if there's ever a moment where I need to pull out some data that would be useful to help me make decisions, I put it in. But if you're like, I'm not sure which question to add, then you probably don't need an additional question.
Cool. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you, Diane. And everyone
Nice to
go
meet
go
you.
go go download Diane's album, listen to the music. Let's hear the melodic tones of Diane Allen singing and playing instruments in our minds and hearts and souls. Thank you, Diane. Phyllis, what's going on?
Oh, thank you. I just got this invite a few moments ago. Don't really know how you found me, but I'm glad you did. I really love your website. Want to know how long you've been doing this? Did this website evolve? And who designed it? How many people are on your team?
Yeah, great question. So we've been at this for about a year and a half now. So we're kind of babies, but also feel so grizzled and so weathered by constantly trying to figure out day and night how to make this great for our incredible users. We've got a great group of people. So I'm not the only person that's on the team. Right now, we have 5 other people that are in different roles, and we actually are just adding a new hire. So for those of you who are interested, we're bringing on a new engineer starting in September, so we can hopefully build the things that we want to build a little bit quicker and a little bit faster on behalf of everyone. So that's very, very cool. Everything's built in-house, so everything's built by our team.
The website, is there a way that we could contract you to build one for us like that?
Yeah.
Similar? It's
Oh,
very interactive.
thank you. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, no, we're not in the what's the term? Like custom development business. We're trying to like use all of our talents and energies to build our tool. But thank you for the compliment. It's a wonderful, wonderful compliment. But we unfortunately we don't do that as a service.
Do you find that you're more speaker or coach?
Speaker. Yeah, for sure.
And
Speaker.
it's mostly with colleges and universities?
Now, my speaking is mostly in the professional development space, so mostly like businesses and professionals. But I got my teeth cutting in the college space, so I still do college. Like I'm doing a college presentation this Friday, so I still speak in the college and youth market because I love it so. But the lion's share of my work is more on the business, organization, corporate side.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, do you have your Talkadot account yet, Phyllis?
I have one, but I've not gone pro. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
think, and that
Where
was through
are you going?
Odell Bazell. I don't know if you're familiar with him or
I
not.
love Odell. That's the guy. That's the homie.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. So I'm
Yeah.
just taking it slow. Been speaking on a local level, speaking in the state, and we'll be speaking at a governor's convention. So I'm transitioning to college. So some of the things that you're speaking of now, kind of new because I'm mostly brick and mortar, but I want to transition to this space. And it's a lot more complex and time consuming than I thought it would be. It's a
That
lot
is
of work,
that is the secret of life. Everything is a lot more work than we think it is.
or
And
than
once
they
you
say.
accept that, yeah, that's always true.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you very much, Phyllis. Well, welcome. Please give Odell a high five from us. We love Odell. He's one of our greatest partners and supporters. So we're a big fan of Odell.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. Steve, what's going on?
It's always a little intimidating when you show up on a random Zoom meeting and an old boss shows up that you haven't talked to for 2 years. Hey, John. But anyway, that's it's good to see you. So here's my question. We are talking is a relatively small part of my business. As you know, RL. I'm sort of struggling with building out a speaker funnel. So I've got a target a list of about 150, 250 associations, which is my primary marketplace. Do you have scripts or sample emails that we could tap into to steal from and get creative?
Yeah, so just for my clarity, your email to these folks, is it, hey, I'm interested in speaking at a conference that you're aware of, or is it, hey, I'm available to speak in general?
Hey, I'm available to speak at your conference. So these are state trade associations, and they mostly have one annual conference a year. There might also be some corporate people who can where we do the same thing.
Yeah. So I can definitely go find. So yes, the answer is yes. We have some emails. B, they're not nearly going to be as magical as you think. So I'll give you kind of the gist because I've written these 1,000 times. I could write it for you in the chat real quick. It goes, hi name. I saw you guys Oh, someone added, that was amazing. I don't know who you are, but thank you. Keep that going. I'm gonna find out who that is. I think that's John. John looks like he knows what he's doing virtually. Keep it going, John. Hold on. I want to keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Errol Moody at his keyboard. Rocking the keyboard like nobody can.
Almost did it.
Actually,
I almost did it. I almost did it. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done.
yeah.
So thank you, John. I am so in love with you as a human being right now. I just want to acknowledge you as a human. So in general, the gist of it, Steve, is when I'm doing an outreach, if I'm doing a cold outreach, so number one, cold outreach is a very low like return game just in general. So cold outreach has to be high quantity to be any semblance of work. So if I primarily prefer to do, if I'm doing any kind of cold outreach, to do a call for proposals, a call for presenters. So I'm submitting to present at the conference versus just kind of cold outreaching. However, there are conferences that I'd like to speak at. And the first email is extremely short, and it's a question. It's not a sales pitch. It's, hey, I saw you have X conference coming up and was just curious if you're still looking for speakers. If so, is that you? Well, that's not the best English, but if you are you the right person? I was trying to beat it under John's like tutelage time. So if that's you, or is there someone else that's in charge of this? It's a very simple, it's a question. And then what I do is I say best. And then in my subject, in my signature, is a link to my website, a link to my Talkadot profile, which is the culmination of all of it, and a link to my LinkedIn account. One of the things that's fascinating is I discovered that if people want to research you, they first want to find out, like, are you legit? Do you have a website? And then they also want to see who you are as a person. Like, are you a real human? Like, so, if you're not posting on LinkedIn or anything, then obviously don't do that. But I post relatively regularly on LinkedIn. So I want people to see that. And then I also want people to see my Talkadot scores. So people can see, like, I have proof behind it. So that's the initial thing. And then once they say, oh, yes, we are still looking for speakers, or, oh, no, we're all good, I go, great, have a wonderful conference. Just curious, when do you look for speakers for next year? Because typically when they choose a speaker, it could be like a year before. Like, I had someone reach out to me today about an event in September 2024, right? Which is awesome because I almost never get stuff that far out. But if they choose me as a speaker, they've already had selected their speaker a year before. So if you reach out to them 8 months before their event, it doesn't matter because they've already chosen it. So if I can't get in now, I want to get in later, and I play the long game. But I find that that's just, unless you can have an automated, like, systematic way of doing it, it's a lot of manual work, where I'd prefer to do like a call for proposals. And I prefer like ASAE personally, like I've mentioned it many times. I prefer them as a network. I think they're a really good one. But there's lots of other ones.
Errol, can I jump in on something that would help?
Yeah, please.
So my good friend Bobby Carlton owns a website called Innovation Women. Here, I'm going to put it in the chat. Innovationwomen.com. You can be a guy, by the way, as long as you're an ally, and join. And she has a website that lists over 100+ conferences with all of their speaker proposal dates. And I can tell you that I've been mining it with my VA. So I gave a talk and my VA applies to 100 of them. I got 8. Some of them were
That's pretty
paid.
good.
I'm only applying to virtual right now, although I think I'm going to now expand my circuit back to the in-person world. But that is a really valuable resource because she takes the list of all these conferences nationally in the US, and some of them are international, and drops them all in there so that you can filter and apply. And I can tell you that is a useful lead source for about $100 a month for the paid account, just so you know.
Yeah, and we love Bobby, and we have a relationship with Bobby where if everyone who goes pro you get 2 months of my speaker leads for free. So that's the equivalent of 800 speaker leads, and then after that we highly consider. So I'm a member of my speaker leads. I get their emails. I love them. I'm a huge proponent of everything that John said. I think Bobby is a fantastic human, first of all, and also a very fantastic business person. So I highly recommend everything that John just said because he's absolutely, it helps gets the ball rolling, gets it going. We always need momentum. Momentum is key. Momentum is key. Thank you, John.
Thank you
And
very much. I feel really terrible, but I've got another meeting coming. I feel like I just showed up for dinner, ate, and then ran without being a polite guest. But
see,
it
this is why
popped up
we're
in
here.
my email to be here. So John's nodding. Yeah, I'm doing all that. Thank you, John. I appreciate your support and your affirmation here. Made my day a lot worse. Thank you.
The world's
This
worst
is
geocacher in the world, Steve Moran. Thank you so
That's
much.
me, the world's worst geocacher. That's it.
Is that like a game, geocaching? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. John can explain it. He's the master.
Okay. My kids geocache, I think. I think they find things
Yeah.
in like little vials,
That's
like
fun.
park benches.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know
That's
what
it.
I know what that is. Okay, cool. And Ryan, I know Ann is, you guys don't understand. Me and Ann, like last week, I think I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did an AMA. It was just me and Ann. No one else showed up. So me and Ann had a wonderful 1 hour conversation. It was fantastic. Ann shows up. She's like, who are all these people?
Yeah, I did put
What?
that in the chat today. I privately messaged Darrell. I was like, what happened?
All good. Ann, what's going on?
I'm well. How's everybody else? Good.
Thumbs up.
Okay, cool. Nice to meet everybody. I've been sending everybody LinkedIn connection requests, just so you know, while I was listening in. Darrell, I have a question. If you have any tips for how to write talk descriptions. Like, because I have 2 new I know you know this because we talked about it. I have 2 new keynotes in the works. I'm working on the titles. And then I was curious of how I should describe them to my target audience, which is colleges.
Yeah, great question. So it's interesting. I'll tell you my philosophical approach to it. I don't know if it's the
Right.
right one, right? So it's always kind of like problem benefit statement in the first line, right? Do you struggle with have you noticed the challenge that, so it's like getting spitballing here a little bit, right? It's harder and harder to get students to see the importance of student leadership roles, and apathy is at an all-time high. What if, so that's problem, then solution statement. What if we can get students to step into their leadership roles and at the same time realize how this will benefit them for getting the job of their dreams and having career success, right? So problem, solution, then describe how you do it in this interactive, fun presentation by Ann Ryan, in this, amusing, lighthearted, like whatever is the right description, in this powerful, thought-provoking presentation by Ann Ryan. We go through the blank, 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 the 22 steps, the 10 ways, the 3 ways of the systematic approach to solving, this problem. Then I list outcomes. By the time you leave this presentation, you will discover how, you don't need quote unquote experience, you need leadership. Why all student leaders are the best people to get hired. Why getting involved right now, regardless if you're ready or not, is the best way to prepare yourself for success. So I give like 3 to 5 tops, like outcomes as bullet points. And
Mhm.
then underneath that, I'll say, if you're looking for a way to engage and, energize or it's like a finishing statement. If you're looking for a way to, get students involved, have them have a good time, and set them up for career success, this is the perfect presentation for you. So it's problem, solution, description of how we do it, 3 to 5 outcomes, and then a wrap up sentence. Like that's the way that I just plug and play that. Like if you actually look at all my presentation descriptions, they probably follow that same sequence. And I may like not adhere to that like gospel, but that's the framework.
Got it. This is actually really helpful. And I just had like a light bulb moment go off in my head because the description that I'm writing for the people to hire me is not the same description that I use when advertising it to students.
That's 100% correct, by the way. If your audience is different than who you're marketing to, you do, because like students, 100% correct. So you have to write it so that the people want to hire you. That's what's
Right.
like, and then when they book you and they're advertising that you're speaking, that's a little bit geared more towards speaking to the student themselves.
Okay. That's one. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but it was just like a light bulb moment went off in my head. Like, oh, they're different.
No, it's 100% right. There's
Okay,
there's
cool.
a saying I love that I'm gonna butcher, but the context of it is like sometimes you're too close to the jar to read the label, or you can't read the label from inside the jar. It's basically one of those things when you're so close to your work, you
Yeah.
can't read it. You just need to step
Yeah.
out, and sometimes someone else from an outside perspective just helps you see something. So anyway, thank you. Happy to help. Happy to help.
Oh, glad. No, thank you very much. And by the way, for anyone considering Talkadot, I really like it. I think it's some of the best money that I've spent this year. And I'm not saying that because Arel's here. I'm just saying it because that's actually true. And I'll put
It
in
would be
my
horrible
Talkadot.
if you said the opposite,
Yeah.
by the way, Anne. If you're
Which
like worst investment of the year, talking about it. Sucks.
No, it's great. I email Mike from support probably like once a week. Do you know? And he's fantastic. But I'll pop in just in case folks are curious. I'll pop in my Talkadot public profile if you want to check it out. And I'm a new speaker. I'm just getting into it. So I'll put that in there.
Awesome. Thanks
Thanks,
so much.
Arel.
Anne. Yeah, my pleasure. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm also a new Talkadot
I know because
client
I
friend.
can tell you, based on that incredible, awesome background that you have spent a lot of time to set up, I would have remembered you. So the fact
Oh,
that I
hey,
want to say that, I'm like, that's a
that's
nice
real.
background.
This isn't even virtual. This is
Okay.
real.
That's someone who said, I'm going to sit down and look at how people are seeing me from Zoom, and I'm going to make it a beautiful visual experience. Anyway, I just want to acknowledge
Well,
that.
thank you. I have a few questions. So first off, maybe I'm missing it, but the contact info piece, is that tied into the pro account and not the free trial? Because I felt like I still needed to throw my hi hello QR code at the end, but then I felt like they were like, which one should I do? Like, because I did my Talkadot earlier and then sort of saved that little nugget of the close till after, then I felt like I could do my hi hello at the end QR code.
When
But
you
it would be so nice.
are you talking about like your Instagram, your LinkedIn, that kind of stuff? When you say
Yes, I
contact?
just saw LinkedIn, but there was no like email, phone, or other contact information that got archived in any way, right?
Mhm.
Like I
Did
gave them
you,
a PDF leave behind that it could live with, but it's one item or another. I didn't
so
send it to a website.
have you gone to your settings and added your social media preferences here?
Yes, I mean, just LinkedIn. I'm not active on Instagram with my business, so
Yeah, that's exactly right. So what we've done is we've had links to those social media. We're going to be adding things like Facebook and TikTok and stuff like that. So that is something that we'll add. What I would recommend is if you want to put things like phone number or things like email, I would include that in whatever is the bonus or thing that you're giving away. What we've ultimately found is that when it comes to contact information, people don't store your email, they don't store your phone number, but they will connect to you on social media. So what we recommend in terms of like the biggest bang for your buck at the end of your feedback flow is to actually, and again, we recommend having, I only have LinkedIn and Instagram here personally because I only use those for public
yeah.
facing. Like my Facebook is for my
Yeah.
friends, and honestly, My Instagram is pretty trash. I don't even like. I used to post. I used to be one of those people like I'm gonna post on it every single day to stay relevant. Now I post like once a month because I prefer LinkedIn. Anyway, long story short, I'm a big LinkedIn fan. I like LinkedIn. I post more there. So what I would encourage you to do is drive people to LinkedIn, and where you want to do like a phone number or an email or something like that, I'd recommend putting that on your giveaway, the thing that they're gonna come back to, because they're not gonna come back to your slide. They're not going to come back to like the end screen or that, but you can put that on the thing that you give away. And again, I drive people to a web page where I have a contact form. We've just found that that actually increases the amount of people that actually reach out. Because in the past I've done it too. Like I used to have a slide that had all my contact information on my slide, and I'd put it up there, and I felt good telling people about it, but
Mhm.
no one followed me on social media. No one actually like contacted like, so if I looked at my actual metrics, they weren't actually driving anything. With this, we actually see like I've gone like I think I've increased my LinkedIn following by like 2,000 or so people. So it's better in terms of what actually is driving results, to drive them to a social media at the end, get them to follow you, and then give them your contact info through either your giveaway or in your follow up, because you have their email. So you
Mhm.
can email them and say, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. Here's my contact info. I personally, philosophically, never say, hey, here's my contact info. I just put it on like my website. I put it on like my giveaway so that it's present. So I'm more giving versus asking, if that makes sense. But that's
Yeah. Yeah.
philosophical. That's my philosophical thing.
Yeah, and I'm a trainer, so there's other elements where they're going to use materials after the fact, and so that's where I put my contact information and some other things. I just wondered if there was a way to kind of electronically imprint that on them in the moment. I mean, I am so new that I don't know, they could probably click on the LinkedIn at the end and go straight to LinkedIn, but then I told them to set their phone down and, so that I could finish. So I don't know if they can click on my LinkedIn right there and like finish the connection process instantaneously.
So when they click on the LinkedIn link here, it'll take them directly to your LinkedIn page. So it'll open up a window or open up your app and have it here. So typically they'll just, well, this is my page, so you can't connect. So typically there's a connect button. Do you know if your LinkedIn account is set up for them to hit the connect button, or do they have to hit the three dots and then drop down and hit connect?
I believe it's follow first and then connect, but I
Okay.
could cue them in my talk to say, thank you for participating, in the survey. Feedback's important, where I can get stronger, where I need to work, whatever. But I could also say at the end, let's link up. Like if I know that they
Yes.
could click, then I'll just add that to my setup queue. When you're done getting your giveaway and giving me your feedback and connecting on LinkedIn, then I'll close. Maybe I'll just do it that way.
Yeah, so yes, thank you for that distinction. Yes, 100%. So what I say now, so just to kind of, I go, let me know what you liked about it so we do more of it. Let me know what you disliked about it so I can improve upon it. Oh, and by the way, for any of you that like to stay in touch with me, at the end of giving me your feedback, you're going to see that bonus and my LinkedIn. I recommend I post more on LinkedIn than everyone else. I'd love to stay in touch with you. And that's when I see people what they do is they click the bonus and it pops up, and then they click the LinkedIn as well. So that is for sure a really good way, especially if you want to drive social media following, which I kind of recommend everyone do, but some people are, anti-social media, which I respect. But yeah, I would recommend saying click on that LinkedIn and connect with me and just have that one link. I'm actually considering removing my Instagram. I haven't committed to it yet, but I almost like I'm not going to get any business from Instagram. I realize I will from LinkedIn. So I
Yeah.
probably should remove my Instagram just so it's just one option versus two. But you know
Got
what? I'm
it.
just committing to it right now. I'm gonna remove it right now. I keep saying it in my head, and I've never pulled the trigger because I'm like, oh, but what if people don't? I'm removing it right now. That's it.
Hey, Arel, I just
Yeah.
noticed this, and it looks like it's got Instagram, then YouTube, and then LinkedIn. I'd actually prefer LinkedIn go first. Do you want me to submit a feature request to Mike
Yes.
to be
I
able
would.
already on it?
She's part of your dev team. I've got other
All of you
questions,
are.
but I'll let
All
other
of you are.
people.
Yeah. No,
I'll
ask
let
one
other.
more. Get one more in, and then we'll go to Peter.
The NSA Pro trial that lasts for 30 days or whatever. I got your email about your keynote framework
Mhm.
meeting tomorrow. do I have to be a paid pro member or a temporary pro member to attend?
That is for pro members only. So if you're in the pro trial, it's technically not for pro trial.
Gotcha. I want to finish my trial, but
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah. So
do
that
you
is
do
for
that
pro members
often?
only. Oh, we
Do you
do
do
this
that
about,
often?
we do about
Okay,
once a month.
great. All right. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. What's up, Peter?
Well, how you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
I'm good. So we were in the NSA meeting yesterday.
Mhm.
So I said, let me go out there and check my Talkadot. And it says, hey, what's your name? I'm logging in. It says, what's your name? What's your last name? Hey, let's put up a picture. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it got me as a new user or something. The stuff I did early in the year is gone. Who do I talk to?
So you had an account already, and when you
Yeah.
clicked on register, what email, do you remember what email you did your first account with?
Yeah, it was probably peter@peteraspeaks.com.
One second. Let me throw that into my support team. Yes, we can hook you up. peter@peteraspeaks.com. Now, what probably happens based on what you're saying to me is that you may have clicked on the register button and not the sign in button. If you clicked on the sign in button, it should have just asked you for your email and your password. If you clicked on the register button, then it may have just walked you through what is the onboarding process. But what we can do is, you said peter@peteraspeaks.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me, I'm gonna send that. You will have a response before we're off of this call, and we'll have you set up.
Awesome. Well, I use A because nobody could say or spell my last name.
Can you just say it?
Agiovlacides. 13 letters. Everybody gets it wrong. They can't say it. It's very simple. It's Greek. But I don't speak Greek. I speak Spanish because I'm half Greek and half Cuban.
Agiovlacides.
There you go. Who was that? Mr. Kennedy? I got to send you something. When I have something to send you, I will send you something, sir.
Hold on, this is where it really matters. Say it again, Robert. Say it again, Robert.
Agiovlacides. Come on. Come on. Ask me to spell it. That's another thing.
Yeah, you can't spell. Well, I did a deal with Madison Square Garden. I was a big Ranger fan, so the guy put up on the jumbotron, the New York Rangers want to thank Peter Agiovlacides, and they took a picture of it, they framed it, they sent it to me. I said, that's great, man. I love it, but my last name is spelled wrong.
Isn't that always weird? It's like, oh, this was so wonderful and so amazing, but I can't share it with anyone.
Yeah.
You know who? I will just say this really quick. I went to interview Dr. Nito Cobain at High Point University.
Mhm.
And when you drive up, it says, hey, High Point University welcomes, and in digitized lights, Mr. Peter Agiovlacides, and the name was spelled correctly. That's how Dr. Cobain rolls, baby.
That dude knows what he's doing. He's the best. So Peter, you'll have a response probably before we're done with this call. If not, I just sent it to my customer success team. If not, I will personally make sure you get your right account. So
Thank you, sir. And may I have one quick question? By going pro, you say you could add one question to the two that are already given, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Is that it?
You can change the 1 to 5 questions, like how engaging, how actionable, you can change those to make them more, and then you can add one additional question. That's
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Peter. I'm not gonna try. I'm just gonna say Peter, right? Because I respect you, Peter. I don't want to. I'd rather be more High Point University than MSG in this particular case. I want to get it right.
Well, they did make it up. They sent me a Rangers jersey, an actual Rangers jersey with my last name on it.
Did it like curve like this?
Yes, it curves. And if you remember back then, it was Cosby's that did the shirts right outside the Garden. And so I called them up. I said, how much is a letter? They said $12. How much is a captaincy? $25. And I added it all up. That jersey goes for about like $600.
They were like, "This is the guy we messed up with. This is the
Yeah.
guy." Golly. Well, cool. Thank you, Peter. Jessica Jenner, straight out of Florida from her Maxwell leadership experience. Lives in Brooklyn, obviously, but
Well, yes,
Yay.
I'm back in Brooklyn. Hello, everyone. Peter, it looks like you made a new friend today. That was fun to witness. Arel, how are you? It's good to see you. It's been a minute.
always a pleasure, Jessica.
Thank you. So I have a couple of questions for you.
Mm.
I recently made a decision to stop my coaching program and to focus solely on speaking. And that was because I realized that I was trying to do too much in my business and I needed to scale back. So with this decision and with this commitment, I'm looking to really kind of like slow down to speed up per se. And I started going back to some of the basics. Now, one of the strengths that I have is I'm very good on the phones. Even though I don't enjoy making calls, I know that once I get my first couple in, I can work the phones. I'm very good at connecting with people. So I started going through my Talkadot leads and refer lists. And I noticed that some people had left their phone numbers, but a lot of people didn't. Now, of course, I'm sending the emails, I'm going through the Talkadot sequence, but I'm wondering, have you made any personal calls and have you used any strategies or tried any strategies to increase getting people's phone numbers so you can give them a personalized call?
Yeah. So it's a great question. It's a great question. So in my particular business, we don't really do phone calls, right? We capture phone calls because phone numbers, because we think it's important to capture phone numbers. But mostly it's via email. I think if you're willing to call people, I think it's great. I think it's a great skill set. I tend to find that we have a better, from a systems perspective, it's easier to get emails out consistently, not as easy to get phone calls out. So typically if someone responds to an email, then we look to set up a phone call meeting, then we talk to them on the phone. So we're never reaching out via phone unless there is a scheduled meeting time set. So no, I've not tried to personally increase the amount of people that leave their phone number. I also think about me when I fill out forms. I might be interested in something, but I'm less interested. Well, hold on, let me say it differently. If I leave my phone number, I'm assuming you're going to call me. So the people who leave their phone number are the people who are more interested than the people who don't leave their phone number. So it's also a way for you to know who's most interested in you and who's kind of least. That's how we kind of help you with like the hot, warm, and cold on the lead side. Because ultimately, if I fill out a form and I give you a phone number, like, I mean, I'm not proud to admit this, but I filled out forms and given fake phone numbers because I had to give out a phone number, but I didn't want to give them mine because I'm like, really don't want them to call me. That's also a sign I'm not really truly interested in the thing. Where the people do give phone numbers, I think that's a way for you to identify just who's more hot versus more cold. But I'd love to, I mean, I would open that question up to everyone listening because I don't have any like experiential way of saying, this is what I've done to increase it. And I never like to give like hypothetical feedback. So if anyone has any feedback on what you've done to increase phone numbers, I would love to hear it because I unfortunately couldn't give anything particularly to that.
That's helpful though. No, thank you for that. The other question I had is in regards to the Talkadot. So I am a pro account holder. Now, I have not, to be very honest, I haven't looked at all of the benefits and I know I'm not maximizing all the benefits, but now that I'm really looking to, really hone in on the speaker side, I'm going to be very committed to utilizing the benefits and resources that I have with Talkadot. You mentioned something about a leads program that's connected to the pro account. Is there some type of leads program or was that an integration app or?
I think I know what you're saying. I'm going to try to answer it as best I can. So let me share my screen here. Well, this will be good to share everyone because I think getting on the same page with this is a good idea. Okay. So the free account that we have You can get unlimited responses and you can do unlimited events, but you only get 100 leads, right? So what that means is if you click on the My Lead section right here, and you know what? I just realized this is my actual account with actual contact info, so I'm just gonna click off of it.
Let's go.
I'm
Show
gonna
it. Show it. Show it.
show
Zoom
it one
in.
more time. Sure.
I need a lead, Robert.
Yeah. I don't want to, I actually don't mind personally showing it, but I know that there's laws against like showing people's contact information. I trust all of you, but this is also recorded. So I just thought about it as I did. But let me pull up. Anyway, hold on. I got to pull up a dummy account here, which doesn't have like real people information. That's going to make me feel bad about myself for
Who
showing
you calling dummy, Earl?
dummy information, not dummy people. Hold on.
That's more stalling tactics for you.
Oh man, what is my password? I think that's my password. Save it. Log me in. Yay. Okay. Cool.
No, Errol, my account is related to this. I'm happy to share it because I don't think anybody wants my leads, but that's okay.
No, I got it. Can you see my screen here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you have your booking leads here and your referral leads. So once this number hits 100, right? Email opt-in. So any one of these numbers, when it totals more than 100, on your free account, it grays it out afterwards. If you have a pro account, you can get unlimited leads, right? We have an integration with SpeakerFlow, so that's also a pro feature. So if you use SpeakerFlow, which is a CRM, which we highly recommend, for your CRM, we have built a direct integration with them. So as your leads come in, they automatically get pulled into your SpeakerFlow, and then any automations that you have set up of how you do your thing can work with them. So we do have that integration. But I don't know if this answers your question, but I'll say a couple more things and then go back to it in case I didn't, which is possible. These questions here, these 1 to 5 emoji questions, on the free account, you can't change those. On the pro account, you can, and you can add an additional customized question. So like, hey, I taught you about, 5 ways to move your mountain. Which way resonated with you the most? Like if you want to add something very custom or unique to you, you can do that with the pro account. And you can also add your booking link. So if someone is, let me redo this. So if someone goes, doop, 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 this one, do you book speakers? Yes. Do you have an event in mind? Yeah, I do. Do you want to book me? Sure, I do. And here's my phone number because I want you to call me. Here's my title and here's my org. And then boom, boom. See this link that pops up here? It says book a meeting. So this goes directly to your calendar link. So this is where people can set up a meeting with you to say, hey, I'd love to jump on your meeting and set up a call. So that feature is a pro feature as well. So those are kind of the differences between free and pro. So in case you're wondering, like, how do I maximize my pro? And then we have like added benefits, like we do the trainings for the pro users, like the one we're doing tomorrow. That's just for pro users as a thank you. So we have different things for you as well.
Okay, no, that's helpful. Thank you. Some of that was a refresher. The other question I had for you is, and if you're hearing buzzing behind me, they're working on my building, so please excuse the noise. The other question I had for you is with SpeakerFlow, have you done a training on SpeakerFlow in terms of how Talkadot users can integrate and maximize SpeakerFlow?
Yes, and I can find the link for that. Let me send a note to Mike. Mike, can you also send the training we did with SpeakerFlow to Jessica Janet, please? Cool, and you're good. Peter, you should have an email, by the way. I just got a message from Mike. You should have an email with all your stuff so you can get in. So yes, Jessica, I'll get that sent to you via email.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Jess. John, what's up, brother?
Oh, geez. Let's go. Ready?
Talking to the moon.
I had to play Talking to the Moon for the Talkadot guy.
I liked it. That was amazing.
Some props and then ask you a serious question. Thank you, Joe. Joe even came off a camera. Can I share or not? You got
let me turn that on. Hold on. You can share.
So I started seriously using you since Influence. I just want to share what I did and then ask you a pretty serious question. All right, here we go. So I spoke at the National Association of Catering and Executives in a presentation called Engaging Not Virtual Meetings, because I did it in person. And I got 20% and 100% valuable, 100% speak again, engaging, actionable, really valuable. These were some of the best quotes. Best session I attended, the most engaging session of the conference. So I just want to share with that this has really been a help. 15 responses, right? 96% actionable, 100% valuable, right? So interactive and helpful. You can't help but want to be involved and make this, and he makes the space psychologically safe. So the great part is I'm getting some big wins in the presentations that I'm doing with this part. I want to thank you personally too for the coaching video that you gave for getting people to do the Talkadot. I can attest that I customized it to myself and I got a much higher response rate by following your coaching. So that video, if people haven't watched that video or used that script, I would say that Errol put a lot of work into that and that I can tell you that I got results with it. So Errol, my question is this. I'm onto this stage. You know, I got 56 people to do this. I got 10 who want a book and 6 who said referrals. I've emailed them all. None of them have replied to me.
Yep.
What's going on? And how do I?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. So that happens for a lot of folks. So there's a couple of things, right? Number one is the game is always consistency. Because remember, these are people who said, I like you, I want to book you. Now, what we are not aware of is, can they book you right now? Or can they book you in a year? Can they book you in 6 months? Or do they like, hey, we like John, I want to book you when I have the chance. So consistency really is the game. I personally, when I'm doing for my booking leads, I do 5 emails. Have you ever seen our 5 email sequence? That I will make a note to send that to you, John. Hold on, where is
I'm
my?
interested.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if
I
I
would like that too, please.
yes. Let me see if I can pull it. If I can pull it up real easy, because I have a new laptop and it's not. Yep, it's not on this laptop. It's on my other laptop. Let me make a note here. Who wants it? Who said they wanted it?
Virtually everybody.
Virtually. Okay. I'm gonna post. Are you in the Facebook group? Are y'all in the Facebook group?
Yes. But
Okay,
we got
so
some
this is what I
notes.
want you to do. If you want access to that, I am gonna post it because I have to get it from my other computer.
Do you have to be a pro to be in the Facebook group?
That is something that we just added. Yes, but if you're on this call, just click on a group and I'll let you in. Yeah. So yeah, so before it was the Facebook group was open to anyone, and then we opened it up just for pro, just to like kind of keep it a little more pro beneficial. But don't tell anyone. I'll let you in. I'm gonna post the document in the Facebook group. I just have to get it, but it's a very simple 5-step. So what I recommend is you do a 5-step sequence. Most people don't actually respond on the first email for whatever reason. It's usually the 3rd or 4th where we get most responses. So then the 5th email is the breakup email, like, hey, I don't want to bother you kind of email. You can use that, and then what I recommend if you don't have yet is putting people on some type of a newsletter where like they hear from you over a consistent period of time. And the people who want to book you always turn over. But a lot of times people are like, yo, that's amazing. I do want to book you, but they were at a conference. And this is very important. I was at a conference for like 4 days. I leave that conference and now I'm catching up with all the work that needs to get done because I was just gone for 4 or 5 days. So even though they do want to speak to you, it's like that's not urgent, it's important. So that's why it's important to do the 5 email sequence and then follow up with people over periods of time, because they will turn over. It's just sometimes they can't turn over right away.
Thank you. Super value.
Yeah, now I wish I had a song I could play for.
Oh, wait. No, Peter asked me, so he wanted me to do this for you. He asked if
Hold on. Wait. Get that teed up. Ready?
Go.
Here we go. Do you remember back in the day when talking about plastic surgery was taboo? Now you talk about Botox and nobody even raises an eyebrow.
Robert with the win.
Y'all are
He's
the
here
best.
all week.
Equally the best and the worst at the same time. Robert, thank you, John. Thank you, John. Robert, what's up, man?
Hey, listen, man, I don't know if this is a feature request or something that is already possible. I want to have a video on my end page, that booking page thing, and not just any video. I want to be able to do like an embed. So for example, if I use like Loom, and Loom has or BombBomb or whatever has the capability at the end of the video or even during the video, there's a button that people can click on during the video to book me or book a time or calendar link or whatever. So I think that would be a fantastic thing to have available on that final page if we can do that.
Could you shoot that as an email to hello@talkadot.com? Because
Actually, Robert, I'm using a new tool, although I actually tried to use Talkadot, like Video Ask as the Talkadot, and it didn't work. So anyways, but Video Ask allows you to embed a link where you play a video and the audience member could shoot a video back or text or message you back.
Yeah, I use Video Ask to prompt my audience for like testimonials, video testimonials, and those types of things. Or they could choose to do a written one if they want. But if I'm using Talkadot, when they get to the end on that last page where they do the bonus download or they see my social links, if I could have a video that I could embed there via HTML, or I don't know if you want to just use.
Yeah, no. This is why we love the users, because y'all are always smarter than us. So what you need and what you want is of very much importance to us.
Yeah.
So hearing these things like help us prioritize what we build. So like what's different, what I like to think is different from us than other groups is that other people say, here's our tool, go use it. We're like, yo, what do you need so that you can succeed? And we want to build it as best we can. So I appreciate that.
I'd like to try, Robert. I think we could do it.
Yeah, I was just going to say the video thing, especially if they've just finished hearing us speak, that video also adds another connection level where we can just reconnect, sync energies as well. So that's all.
No, thank you, brother. Orange is a good color on you. I just want to point that out.
Brand color, brother. I mean, blue and orange. So I got to figure some way of connecting with the colors.
Oh,
you know, with Talkadot, without orange, I'm feeling it even more.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
And Dr. Venus, and I want to be respectful because I know we're at the top of the hour here, so I know people have to go do stuff. I want to be respectful of your thing, but I also want to get everyone's questions answered. So Dr. Venus, you're up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for Talkadot. I'm a newbie. I'm going to be using it at my first keynote as I pivot, and I'm so stoked. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to say thank you for the work that you do. My question is this: I am doing a keynote speech, which is fine. I got the Talkadot and the teeing up. I'm also doing a workshop where I'm making an offer like I would a speak to sell, but I would like to still be able to use Talkadot to get the feedback. In the tee up video, it says before you do your closing, you put in the slide and you tee it up, right? Well, my question is, if I'm making an offer for them to buy and go to a link to buy a program, where do I tee up? Do I tee up with the end of the content before I go into the offer? Or do I tee up some other point after I do the offer and close the cart and then do some kind of closing?
Yeah, great question. So just for my clarity, you're doing a keynote and that's solid. And then you're doing a follow-up workshop. And in the workshop, you're going to be doing a direct, like, I want you to go buy this thing right now, kind of like a go to the back of the room kind of sell thing. Okay.
Yes.
So first question I have for you is, are you sure that you're allowed to sell at the workshops? Are you allowed
I am. All that's clear. Yep, we're clean. Everything's set up. I'm the keynote at California Women's Festival. And I have the work. So we're golden. I just want to see if I can.
Yeah, if you're doing like a hardcore sales pitch, my professional opinion is I wouldn't use Talkadot in that particular case. Because if you want to drive people, like I'm doing a sales pitch, You want to be like, this is going to change your life. Go do this, go do that.
Got it.
If you have
Okay.
someone give feedback, then go do that. It's too many calls to action.
I with you. That's what my concern was. I know
Yeah.
it's better. I got enthusiastic about being able to get the feedback. So
Yeah.
just
I
use
mean,
Talkadot for keynotes.
yeah, I would use Talkadot if you're not doing a hardcore sales pitch. I would use
Okay.
Talkadot. If you're doing take out your credit card right now, and that's cool with
Mm-hmm.
the host, I personally wouldn't use Talkadot.
Got it. And last question I have is, I
Yeah.
had to get a new QR code because Talkadot is designed for doing the feedback flow. And I just want to put this bug in your ear. For a person like me who's very loyal to the brands that she takes to, I would have preferred to be able to buy a QR code from you that was just about going directly to the offer. Okay. And I know that you don't have that. Me and Mike already spoke about it, but I just want to make sure you know that as a very, very appreciative client, it would be, it's one of the things you may want to consider as a vertical that some of us really would like to just be able to use your flow, your format and keep the money in the family, so to speak, and be able to use the QR code that goes directly to the free gift. And we can circulate that, so I just want to share that with you. That's all. Thank you all for your patience and allowing me to speak.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Venus. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can she say that another? I wasn't clear. I understood.
The last one is
Yeah.
I just want to give something away. So I don't want
Okay.
feedback. I just want to give something
Got it. Okay.
away. Yep. And OV. I just called his name. He done. Oh, there he is. OV, where
There
you
we
at?
Okay,
What's
cool. I'm at the park with my kid.
Good man.
So I know it's a AMA. I'm planning to go to APCA, do a show, what do you call it? Like a showcase, right? And I remember you said you had a magic formula strategy to get them to show up to the breakout session, to the educational session. I love some golden nuggets before I hit the road, you know.
This is my go-to. This works all the time, all day, every day. Okay. So you go to the conference, you walk up to students or advisors and you say, have you been to this conference before, or is this your first time? Okay. If they say it's my first time, I go, awesome. What made you decide to show up? What were you hoping to get out of the conference? Right. And then whatever their answer is, I listen to their answer and I go, okay, awesome. Now, is it your first APCA or have you been there before?
Been there before.
Okay, cool. So you go, oh, I'm so glad to hear that you want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. That's awesome. So I've been to this conference many times before, and we're actually going to be helping people do that. Do you know what session you're going to Tuesday at 3:00? And they're gonna be like, no, I don't know what session I'm going to. And you go, okay, well, circle my session because like we're gonna be covering that. Can I count on seeing you there? Yeah, I'll be there. And I literally, and then now if I ask them, have you been here before or is this your first time? They say, oh, this is like my third conference. I go, great. Why do you keep coming back? Oh, well, I like to connect with people. I like to do this. I like to do that. Awesome. Where are you going to be Tuesday at 3:00? Well, my session is going to help you. So I ask them that same question. Whatever their answer is, as long as I can tie it back to what I'm doing, I let them know. And then I say, where are you going to be Tuesday at 3? Which session? Now, if they already have a session they're going to, I go, do you have another person from your school that you can send? Because I don't want you to miss it. I at least want one of them to get it. So I'm literally having that same conversation with every single person and driving them to my session. And I have my program book with my schedule so I can show it to them. If it's physical, if it's on the app, then I just say date and time. And then by doing that over and over, you'll fill the room. It works every time.
Golden. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all go. Thanks for being here. Y'all are the best. We got the best speakers in the whole wide world. Period. Hands down. No commas, no ellipses, no exclamation point. No, multiple exclamation points. You know what I'm trying to say.
You're the best. Thanks.
Hold on.
All right, brother.
Get ready for me. Get ready for me, John. I'm gonna give you one real quick, and then we're gonna go. I'm gonna give you one real quick, John. Then we're gonna go. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Go.
The other day, someone stole my antidepressant pills. I hope they're happy.
I hope they're happy.
Thank you for attending the performance. And a special thanks to all those who helped with the show.